Hello, my name is Christine and I run a vintage shop called Prima Treasures on Etsy. Today I have something pretty unusual that I wanted to show. I just got my hands on this, and this is something that would be considered a little more high end in the antiques and vintage world. But essentially, what it is just like a little hidden bar set. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because this is actually very likely an antique hidden bar set. So I kind of wanted to talk about how one would figure that out or make, an estimation based on just looking at it. So the part of the reason I have it set up a little weird here with the parts out is because I want to show one of the primary ways that you can make a determination like that. So bear with me, I'm going to turn the lights off, and I have my black light on, and you can see right off the bat that with the regular lights off and the black light on, that all of the glass now has a greenish glow to it. And essentially that means that the glass has uranium or similar mineral, radioactive mineral that causes it to glow. So essentially what that means, because those materials were made basically illegal around World War II because now we're using them to make bombs, um, glass makers stopped putting it in their glass. So, for the most part, if you see glass that glows like this, it means it was made before World War II, and that arguably puts it in the antique category. So, anyway, that's one of the big tells that I wanted to point out, which is why I took the glass out of the box, because it's easier to see when the glass is actually next to the black light instead of just being, several inches away. In fact, let me demonstrate. When you move it away, it's still there, but it's fainter. So if you want to be really sure, you want to have it close up like that. Anyway, so that's one of the ways that we would be able to make that kind of identification. And some of the other things that we would look for, which I'm going to show you, hopefully. Let's get this. Trying to aim here. You can see that there's this gold trim on there, but it's got wear and tear. It's not perfect. There's parts where it's a little spotty right there at the top of the rim. So we also look for stuff like that, where not wear that's like uniform, but you would want to see wear in spots where people touch it or where it's getting handled. So like the top of this stopper is a pretty obvious place where you would expect that gold to have worn off. But where, on the underside, how many people are going to touch the bottom of this thing? Probably not a lot. So you want to see where that makes sense for the item that you're touching. The other things that we would look for would be, you can see in here with the lid, I hope you can see, let's see, tip it up a little bit. You can see there's some spotting in there, and it just has a generally aged look. Over here in the corner, we can see something that might be mild stains or something along those lines. You can see here on the spine of the books where there's some spotting and maybe some wear right here along the edge. I'm going to show you the sides here where you can see a good bit of spotting and discoloration here and across here. So the general appearance of the whole set has this aged look to it. You can see a little bit of age cracking right in here. You can see on the metal piece here that it's very dark and discolored. And right here, there's a good bit of rust. I mean, you could say the whole thing is covered in rust. And another thing that we talked about, which I don't know if you can quite tell, but all of these screws in here are straight screws. And before World War II, Phillips had not been invented yet. So you wouldn't want to see Phillips head screws in this piece. So as long as all of the various things that you check make sense for the age that you think something is, you can see the top of this book has the most wear, and that's very much appropriate because in a situation where this thing is sitting in someone's office or living room, the top piece, the top section of the book is going to get the most wear and tear. The ones underneath it, less so. And we can definitely see that here, where the top book has notably more discoloration than the two middle books here. The other thing I did want to point out, oh, I don't think I can show that to the camera. Well, let's take these out and then I can do that. But this piece is actually marked. Right there, you can see it says made in France, and that's fairly common for these older hidden book bar sets. So that's exactly the kind of mark I would expect to see on a piece like this. So just the whole combination of factors that we're looking at, they all line up with what I would expect an antique hidden book bar set to look like. And so based on that, even though we don't have like a literal date on this particular set, the combination of factors is what we would point to as very likely that this is antique because of all the things that we checked that are essentially what we thought they should be. So anyway, I hope that this video and me kind of outline all the different things I would look at and things that I would check helps you understand a little bit the process of how we go about determining age for something where we don't have a lot of good, let's say, documentation or markings we can do research on and that kind of thing. Anyway, I hope this helps you, and I hope being able to see one of these in a video and have me go through all the different things that you might look for. If you spot something like this wherever you are, then it gives you an idea of things that you can double check to decide whether you think you potentially have on your hands an antique set like this. Anyway, I thank you for watching.